Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti, along with Samantha. How'd you do yesterday?
Um, Not great as far as betting wise.
You and I both, but what a fantastic day.
Oh, it was so good. We were just speaking earlier before we got on air, and what a great day by Gulfstream and by everybody involved to make the Pegasus 2023 honestly one of the best Pegasus editions I've ever seen.
It was so crowded, and it was just a lot of fun and good people. I hope everybody out there made some money. Samantha and I, not the case, but
No.
that's okay. We got 11 to get out, and we got mandatory payout today in the Rainbow Six. So maybe got a chance to get about, well, let's say in 3 million. Brian always tells me if it says 3, it's going to be 5. So I'm going with Brian today.
Yeah.
I'm never right. I still owe him lunch, actually, for one bet that we made a while back. So that's it. So we're going to get ready to go right to the races because we have 11 today. And our first race post, of course, 12:10. And Brian put an early pick 5 ticket together, and we'll check it out right now. And let's see. He went 4 deep here in the first race. We'll talk about that. 2 deep in race number 7 with the 3 and the number 7 reserve not attained. He's got lots of coverage in race number 3, and he is using Passion Plus and Gray Charlotte along with Amazing Queen. And the single is in race number 4, and it is the number 4 horse Bandita. And in race number 5, 3 deep in there with the 1, 8, and 11, the 1 being a Beauty Amaze. So good ticket, $48 for Brian.
Yeah, and this is a really competitive sequence. It actually is all day today. You could go a lot of different ways, so it's nice to find some coverage in places that you can.
Well, interesting to see how you started off. And what'd you go with on top?
I went with the 11 here, Mogul Crack, coming from the Fatso Gutierrez barn. And I'm not too keen on the post position here, Ron, but I like the fact that this horse is coming out of races at Churchill, just kind of has a foundation on him already. And I think that the pilot, he's going to have to send. That's going to have to be the game plan with this horse to at least be able to take a good position.
Yeah, scratch the 3, so maybe a little better
Yeah.
post. But I absolutely flip-flopped him for that reason.
Yeah.
I put the triple start, who's going to the Kelly Breen barn after the claim, returns to the turf. He's getting both Lasix, blinkers. He got walked up the track when trying a mile on the dirt, but he's working sharply since that miscue on the main track and just needs to duplicate that early grass race and Aqueduct to score. But I am in agreement with you with Mobile Crack. I would have had him the other way if it wasn't for the post. And I used Dami, too, who's third against 40 Maidens on the turf up at Woodbine.
Yeah, and that was actually a pretty nice effort. I've kind of been thinking that these horses coming from Woodbine moving to here, they just need an out or two just to kind of get their feet under them. And so I'll wait and see with that one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right because I picked a lot, and so have you and Brian, of course. And they just need a race, it seems like. Race number 2 this afternoon, 6 furlongs, claim is 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or a race since July 29, 20 down through 16. Scratch the number 6, Raise the Rent. And I went with the number 7, Reserve Not Attained, is making the 3rd start of his current form cycle. And I like the fact that he's going to the main track. He crossed the wire first last time before getting disqualified and placed 3rd.
Yeah, and that was actually a pretty nice effort. And I didn't have him that day. I still don't have him today. And I could be wrong now that this is kind of scratched into a 6-horse field as far as an early pick 4 ticket goes.
Let's see it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Check it out.
I did not put this horse in there, and I might kick myself for that later. But I just don't trust him here. 3 by 3 by 3. My best bet out of race number 3 is the 8. That is Amazing Queen. And in race number 4, a really nice maiden special weight. If we have a few of those here today, I really want to take a look at him in the paddock to get a good grasp on him. But Bandita is my top choice. We got a work video to show of that filly in a little bit. And in race number 5, my top pick being the 7 Drum and Drummer. I know you like that horse as well. $27 in the early pick 4 for me.
Yeah, it's a good ticket there. Getting back to this, you didn't use Reserve Not Attained. 7-time winner on the main track, trained by Murat Sankal, Jorge Ruiz in the saddle. Hey, but maybe with the 4 horse on top and leaving this horse out, you'll get a much better price.
Yeah, I could. The thing is Rohan Crichton and Irad Ortiz, they win at like a 55% clip. It's just just insane, the numbers that they're throwing out. Now, that being said, I bet on this horse last time, and it didn't take any money at all, and it was for a good reason. Ran fifth by a few lengths. So, kind of wait and see the tote action on this horse, but I do think this one's got a good shot here.
And the one mighty tough is cutting back to 3/4 of a mile, rallied to finish second. It was 26-1 that day.
Yeah.
Again, similar for Timmy Hills with Luca Panici in the saddle.
Hey, that's your man. What an incredible win by him yesterday with Mary. Quite contrary.
Oh, I was so happy for that. It's been, and I said it ad nauseum on the air, that was my favorite horse all summer long, and it was great to see that horse win. One of the hometown horses win. Very impressive for the connections. Let's go to race number 3, a mile on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares, 4 and up. None winners of 3 in life or race since July 29th, 35. No scratches in this race. You went with the number 8, Amazing Queen, who's faced better on the turf up at Woodbine.
Yeah, and like we just said earlier, Ron, they brought this horse here, got scratched off the grass, so had to run on the PETA, got a tightener under her belt, and now she gets IRAD. She's primed and ready for this one.
Yeah, she's going to run good in there today, so we'll see how she runs with IRAD in the saddle. I did go with the number 3, Passion Plus, who is fits the conditions of the race perfectly. As I meant, the race since July 29. This is an 8-time turf winner. Cuts back to a mile, rallied to finish 4th against those condition claimers going 8.5 furlongs or a mile and a 16. 5-time winner at the distance. Should have the screws tightened, today. I just like that when they read the condition book and find a spot for these horses.
Yeah, because some of these haven't won a race since Valentine's Day, and you had a girlfriend or something like that.
She's a little feisty today since partying all night long. I didn't want to let it out there.
Yeah, but Liz Dovis does a great job with these types of moves here. And like you said, Ron, 5-time winner at the distance and at this course. A lot of things to like. And Liz Dovis, she's very good at spotting her horses for these races.
And what about the inside horse you used by Bravo Zulu?
I think this horse is going to be the controlling speed, especially the fact that the rails are at 56 feet today, so kind of midway out, and this is a setting where I like kind of an inside horse. I'm hoping Joelle will send here in this spot, and if this horse gets loose on the lead, it might be playing Come and Catch Me.
Yeah, and put the blinkers on today.
Exactly, so she'll probably be more sharp.
Yeah, definitely. And then Gray Charlotte's cutting back to a mile after setting the pace. This one might be up there. Yielded at the furlong marker last time to finish 5th, 5th behind actually Passion Plus, Bernardo Campos. Miguel Vasquez going to dole out her speed. You got to hope that things don't get too dicey on the front end.
Yeah, that's the only problem with this horse, and hopefully it'll be a nice run, but this is a tough race. Anybody you can make a case for.
Race number 4 this afternoon, 7 furlongs, maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds. We did have some scratches in here of the 2, 5, and number 8 horse in here. I always had the number 7 Arrow Bolt on top of my ticket, who's a half sister to Grade 1 winner Emollient and a Florida Derby runner-up Hofberg, debuting for Billy Mott with solid work to have his horse. He had one that didn't run that well yesterday, but all his first-time starters have been running exceptionally well.
Yeah, they really have, and this is a barn that fired extremely hot yesterday. I hope they can continue it on to today. Juddmonte Silks, this horse is, like you said, well-bred top and bottom. It's the outside post position for me. It's so tough for a first-time starter to overcome that. Can they? Yes, but will they? Not all the time.
Well, tell me about Bandita, this daughter of Gunrunner.
Yeah, this was a $350,000 purchase. We've got a work here from Palm Beach Downs, pardon me. And this is a filly here. She's on the inside, and I just love the way she really reaches out in this work here. And she was really keen at the beginning of the work. The rider did a good job with just trying to keep her steady. You don't see Todd Pletcher working these kind of 48-second marks for half miles. Usually they're 49, 50, but I just love the way this filly reaches out, and I think she's going to be pretty tough here. I mean, look at her. She just is so game the whole time in this work, and I like what I'm seeing, and I'm feeling the better's will as well. Yeah,
no, she looked great there, and then that is the 4-bandit. And La Pachanga, this one's a half-sister to 3.2 million air superstar Olympia debuts locally. Stalked the pace and finished a useful 3rd in her 7-furlong debut at Patampa. Junior Alvarado, what a day he had yesterday, winning the big one. Rides this daughter of Warfront for Shug McGade. I see Warfront, I'm thinking turf. This is 7 on the grass. They started it at Tampa. I don't know what we'll get today.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that they started this horse at Tampa, but maybe it was for the distance, not necessarily the class. The 7 furlongs in a race did not come up in the book here. Again, watch the tote board on this filly because, like, she's royally bred Olympiad. She's got some big shoes to fill.
Yep. Let's go to race number 5, about mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Claim is 4 and up. Now winners of 2 races in life, $8,000. Scratch the 2, I Am Resilient. And both you and I like Drum and Drummond. I think you have a video you want to show?
Yeah, I do. I really liked this effort in this last race here. And here he is, Drum and Drummer at 20-1. And he was so game in this and clearly outrun his odds. Now, Glorious Tribute, 3-5 favorite here, but I just love how tough he hung in there. And he was 53-1 the out before that, but he's kind of slowly improving each time, which you like to see. He hung on there for second place finish, and actually the third place finisher who we saw catching up to him is also in this race as well, Bluto's Candy. So those are both two to maybe use both of them if you're going to use one of them.
And the one horse will split those two with Beauty Amaze, who's dropping to the 8th level after debuting locally for Todd Pritchard. So, you see this at all.
Yeah.
Finished 5th against 12-2 Lifetime Claimers going to mile 70. Looks like the for sale sign was out last time. It didn't work, so they're dropping it down. He's good off the layoff. Louis Saez,
Yeah.
I got to use this horse because I'm not getting beat even though this horse is dropping down.
Yeah, you said it best. They tried to get rid of this horse last time. It didn't work. $8,000. This might be the ticket to kind of wake them up a little bit, but it's Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners. They've got a lot of horses. A horse like this, does it really fit their program? Not really. So, run them where they can win.
Absolutely. So that is how we see the first 5. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Rainbow Six time with a mandatory payout today, upwards of $3-4 million. You have a chance to take it down. We'll be right back.
This is a championship meet. Yeah. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
Yeah.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. And if you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history.
Shoemaker sitting perfectly still. He hasn't touched this magnificent colt, and here comes the finish.
And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and a wise guy Samantha here in the 6th race, 1 mile on the turf. Starter allowance, 4-year-olds and up, started for 50 or less. They're not going to make this easy. You might get $5 million, but it's not going to be very easy. We were talking before we came on the air, and well, look at my ticket. And they're starting with an 11-horse field. Here's the way I look. Either my horse I like, my Sea Cottage, wins, so I have lots of coverage. We'll talk about this race in a moment. Got coverage throughout. Race number 7, my top pick is the 5, Tibuba, and in race number 8, that's that handicap, starter handicap on the Tapeta. I went with Conglomerate, Burning Man, and Poppy's Boys. I got coverage all the way through.
Yep.
So here's, like they say, you're going to rip the Band-Aid off early and just get it done. I like this horse this afternoon, and I'm going to see if I can get it done with lots of coverage. And did you use my Sea Cottage?
Yes, I did, and actually was my top pick. And I like this. A lot of people are afraid to single the first leg.
No.
If you have an opinion, just go for it, and I like that. So you'll either be happy or not the rest of the day.
Well, you can also make B tickets when you're doing this.
Yeah,
And put
true.
a bunch of horses. But, the ticket that I showed there, and I like doing that, too. I really,
Yeah.
once you get it, because now, even if you don't get it, you're in the ball game for at least one race if you get your single.
Exactly, yeah. They could be 4 horses you spread with, and the other 2 left in the race win.
Well, I'll tell you why. My Sea Cottage is stepping up the competition. I thought it was an impressive local return, which broke sharply, and this horse never looked back. He is the controlling speed in here, unless I'm wrong. I think he just goes for it. Mark Caxey got Louis Saez in the saddle, and I just see him controlling the race.
Yeah, most definitely. And this was a horse that was coming off of a pretty lengthy layoff from March to December last out. Took a ton of money and really proved it. And this is the same type of field. I mean, Worlds on High couldn't catch this horse last time, so who's going to run with this horse?
There's no one really
No.
in there. I know you had some interest in the number 10, and that is Sweeping Giant from Kelly Breen's barn.
Yep, and this is a horse second off a layoff as well. You still kind of wonder, and this horse drew the outside again, which I didn't like the first time, and now he kind of got it the second time, so we'll see.
Well, that is race number 6, where that Rainbow 6 mandatory payout is going to start. Race number 7, a mile and 16th. These are maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds. We do have a couple of early scratches of the 6th and 7th. And Samantha put a late pick 5 ticket together, and let's see how she handled it.
Yep, I went 3 by 3 by 3. My best bet is in race number 10. In race number 8, though, the 3 Conglomerate is my top pick, and in race number 9, the 8 is my top pick. Dangerous Ride, taking a little bit of a drop in class from the Carlos David barn. In race number 10, my best bet of the day, Fast as Flight from the Brian Lynch barn. And to end the day, going from the outside to kick things off, the Telindos, I think that's how you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daughter of Justify on the grass here. 40-50 the ticket. I'm pretty confident with this. I like my single. As far as the other races, it's tough.
Well, I used every one of those horses in the whole sequence, but I got to get through my first part, so that's the whole difference here. Getting back to the 7th, I did start it off with the one Tiuba, Daughter of Good Magic, stretching out around 2 turns. Going to add Lasix today. Got pinched back at the start. Finished 5th in her debut at Churchill Downs for the one, the only Todd Pletcher. He's 26% with maidens making their second start, 25% with the sprint, the route, all that stuff he's good at.
Yeah, he really is. How are you saying that horse's name?
I was thinking, how do you say it?
Oh, I don't know. I wanted to hear you say it one more time.
Tituba.
Okay.
I think. We'll check it out.
Yeah, I know. I was
Pete
curious.
always helps me out.
He does. Tituba. This is a horse that getting 2 turns for the first time already has a start under her belt. You like to see things like that, and Todd Pletcher can have one with some stamina in her for this kind of race.
You did go with Biloxi Blues as a Daughter of Tappan.
Yeah, and another one does have a start under her belt. Ran 6 furlongs in November at the Aqueduct meet. A pretty even third place finish. Gets Lasix for the first time here. Jose Ortiz, hoping for maybe a Ortiz Exacta.
I think these are the logical 2 in
Yeah.
there. I had the scratch. I had Be Here, Be Now as my third choice,
Me
and I
too.
bumped up Creative Die, and I think those are the 2
Yep.
that you got to worry about in that race. Easier said than done. But
Oh, definitely.
Race number 8 today, as I mentioned, this one's going to be a mile and an eighth on the Tupita. It's a starter handicap for 4-year-olds and up, started for 16 or less. They named it the Gun Runners. Take out the 8, Fatima's Blessing, and this is where Brian put his late pick 4 ticket together. So we'll check this out now and see how he did. He's going right with Conglomerate, who we both have interest in on top. We'll talk about this race. He's got 3 deep in race number 9. He's got Bank Frenzy. He's got the 6-horse, My Man, Ira, and the 8-horse in race number 10. He's got 3 deep in there. He's got Fastest Flight. You're single in there.
Yep.
And in the last race, he's just singling the number 9 horse in there. $4.50 for Brian. He must be spending all his money on the Rainbow 6.
Yeah, he must be. We'll have to have a chat with him about that and find his ticket.
Number 3, Conglomerate. We've named him already 6 times, and it seems in the last 2 races. Previous winner at 9 furlongs on the Topeta stretches out after rallying late. He defeated those optional claimers. 50,000 going a mile in the 16th in his Woodbine finale. Marty Drexel. Pretty good winning consecutive races. He's got Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle today.
Yeah, and this is one making the first start from Woodbine. I know we keep talking about how we like to have him see and out over this track here, but this horse has a lot of fitness in him, was running in these 1.25 mile races at Woodbine prior to coming here. So I think that the back class is here for this horse, and the buyers fit as well.
I like the 5 Burning Man, and I'll tell you why. This is a 2-time winner at the distance, stretches out. He broke slowly in his last race. He really never got on track in his local debut, going a mile 70 yards. Here we go again. This horse has a race over the surface now. Kevin Attard, love the work that he does up in Canada. He's got, I think Edwin Gonzalez is riding today, if I'm not. Yeah, we didn't get any change. Oh, it's Javier. So just make sure you knock that down. Edwin hasn't been riding the last couple of days, so it'll be Javier Castellano. And why? 2-time winner at the distance.
Yep, and that is really key. These 1.1 mile distances on the Topeta, we don't have a lot of those races, so the fact that he's really kind of stamped himself as a specialist, that's good to see.
Yeah, and you went with Wicked Finn from Blake Kelly.
Yeah, and this barn actually got the monkey off their back with the win the other week. Joel Rosario stays aboard here, and it was a really tough race that he was exiting, and it was a very narrow defeat, so maybe we'll put it together this time.
Well, let's go to race number 9, 7 furlongs, allowance optional claimer. The 3-year-olds, the optional tag, 75,000. Feature race, it looks like to me. The 4 is Scratch, Call Me Iceman. And boy, I want to hear about the number 8 horse in here, Dangerous Ride. I did not use this horse.
I'm wondering, did I make a wrong decision? I'm confused now. So this is a horse that a few starts back did run this 7 furlong distance. It was back in October, and it was against state bred competition in a stake race at that, and was actually a pretty nice effort. They're dropping this horse down into just allowance optional claiming level. It's Luis Saez, it's Carlos David. They're good with these types of moves.
Yeah, you're going to get a great price there. I did go with the 2 Diamond Cool, who's stepping up to face winners. Really a sharp local return in which he drew clear to defeat those state-bred maiden special 8 runners. Won that race by a lot, like 9 lengths. So, Patrick Biancone, second-time Lasix, Arad Ortiz Jr. I think it's all go with this horse today.
Yeah, it is, and it was an extremely impressive victory. And sometimes I don't like playing these horses that are facing winners for the first time, but it's not the toughest field he's catching here, so it's going to be a good effort if he can repeat that.
The number 6, My Man Ira, is cutting back to 7 furlongs. After following, he had that debut going 6 with a trouble starting 5th against this level, going a mile, who's back in November for Jose D'Angelo. He's got Jose Ortiz overseeing that shorter distance. I just think this horse is going to equate itself a little better today.
Yeah, he really has to. He's had a little bit of gait trouble in the past. Hopefully they've kind of worked those kinks out. We haven't seen him since November. You know, he can mature since then. Now he's a newly turned 3-year-old. You can hope so. Otherwise, we might see the G next to the L next time out for him.
You know, one of my favorite people, and doesn't start many horses here, is Lisa Lewis. Debuting locally, responded to the surface switch from Topeka to Dirt with that maiden win at Tampa. She's the daughter of Central Banker. She gets Lasix, Tyler Gaffleone, going to handle the added distance. I just think every horse she brings here, not many, all run well. So I threw it on the ticket.
No, I think that's a smart move, especially on your pick 6 ticket.
Yeah. She just they always run well. Race number 10, we're back on the turf. It's a mile on allowance optional claimer. Fillies and mares 4 and up, the optional tag of $62,500. Scratch the 3, scratch the number 9 horse in here. You went with the 6, Fastest Flight. This was your single.
Yep, it was for the Brian Lynch barn. We've got a replay of that second place finish. It was a very, very tough finish here. Now, this horse was the 1 post position of 11 horses, so had a lot to overcome here. Julian Leperoux in the irons, and look how game this horse was. You know, at first I thought that Kahiko wasn't going to get past, but eventually did. Doesn't get Kahiko here today, gets a much better post position, and gets Tyler Gaffleone.
Yeah, and he ran great. I remember that race there, and I thought he was going to win it, too.
I did,
Exactly. I did go with the inside horse, Traffic Song, who's cutting back to the mile, breaking from the rail. Now, last time he left from post 10, he goes up and he sets the pace. It's tough to win from out there. Finishing second, going a mile into 16 for Jimmy Toner. Hey, Jimmy Toner, he's 3 for 9 at the meeting.
Yeah.
His go-to rider is Jorge Ruiz, inside post. You know, I like him so much. I'm hesitant. Every horse I picked and didn't bet won, and vice versa. So I'm going with him today. Sorry, Jimmy, if I put
if you ruined it for him, we'll see.
Join the dances, debuting locally, the number 5 horse on the turf after solid stakes campaign on the Woodbine Topeka, which this daughter of Shackelford was 3rd in that 7 furlong, $125,000 Duchess. That race produced a trio of next out winners. Hey, Mark Cassidy. This is his game, going from Topeka up there to turf down here. This one's got a touch of class.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, coming out of a 4th place finish in a grade 3, granted that is at Woodbine, but still, you can't knock a grade 3 from this filly. This is a good starting point for this 2023 campaign, and we'll see how she takes it.
Yeah, it just looks like this horse is going to be the class of the race. Got to see,
Yep.
like you said, if it can handle the turf. We're going to go to the final race of the afternoon, and this one is a mile and 16th on the turf, maiden special weight, filly 3-year-olds. And I got my long shot in here, and I don't know if it'll be that much of a long shot. That's the 3 Milieu, who's a half-sister to Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint winner. Now, that was on the Dirk Shamrock Rose, stretching out to the mile and 16. I thought took that big positive step forward when finishing fourth from a tough post last time out. It was against this familiar competition. Billy Mott adds Lasix for this assignment, and there's a big jump up and improvement between one start to the next start. And Bill, who's hotter than Bill Mott here?
Yeah, exactly. And, this is a horse that before she debuted in Saratoga, I remember watching her works at Saratoga, and I just was never really a fan of her. And look at the betting board on her as well. She's always been double-digit odds, so I kind of wonder. But against a field like this, she actually does have a pretty decent shot.
Well, tell me about the 10. I know you had this one on top, Telendos, this one from Grand Motion, Arad Ortiz Jr. You can't go wrong with that.
No, you really can't. And he actually rode this filly on debut at the Aqueduct meet. Was kind of drawn towards the inside that day. Really wanted no part of the race, the first half of the race, and just came flying at the end. I kind of wonder if this horse is too deep of a closer, but that was just her first out. She stumbled a bit, scrambled to try to catch her footing. That's the Aqueduct turf. We'll see how she'll take to it here, but Grand Motion, he's good with this type of stuff, and he can have one ready.
The number one horse we both have in second, Sri Lanka, is stretching out at its 16th of a mile. Rallied to come within a neck of springing that 45-1 shocker.
Yeah, that was close.
In his 1 mile debut for Brendan Waltz, adds Lasix and Tyler Gaffleone.
Yeah, this is a really nice switch with everything. I don't like the post position here, Ron. That kind of is a bummer, but she got the one post position. But the way she ran on debut, it might be a style that will suit her a bit. She's done incredible. I've really watched her just kind of mature since that first out till now. She's a different filly than she was then, and she might be all right.
I just want to mention one more horse before we go to the lightning round. It's the 6, Penumbra's Maker, is going back to the grass with Lasix after following a narrow defeat behind. I thought was an impressive winner, earner, going a mile on the grass. Comes back and runs game third, going a mile in the 16. The race moved from turf to Tapeta. I think this horse is a horse you got to take a strong look at. Fausto Gutierrez, 8-1, I believe, on the morning line.
Yeah, and that's one that could be a little sneaky price at the end of the day to maybe upset your Rainbow Six. Unless you play Ron's Rainbow Six, he's got it.
Yeah, I got it in there. So the pick 5 is already approaching $80,000. It'll be way higher than that. Once again, mandatory payout this afternoon. But let's go to the lightning round, and we're going to repeat that, what we just said, because that's the first part of it, mandatory payout. It's races 6 through 11. As you can see, they think $3 million or more. Be interesting to see how it goes. We got Coast to Coast back with that low 15% takeout. Here is the setup for today, which starts in race number 9 at Gulfstream, race 10 at Gulfstream. We got 3 in it today.
Yeah, it's good. So hopefully we picked you some winners in races 9, 10, and 11. You're on your own with race 4 and 6 at Santa Anita.
Well, we'll check them out, but you are definitely on your own. What about your best bet?
My best bet today is Fast as Flight for the Brian Lynch Barn in race number 10.
And my best bet today is my single in the Rainbow Six, My Sea Cottage, I think is the lone speed in that race, and you're a long shot.
It is Dangerous Ride, Carlos David Barn, Luis Saez. We'll see how it goes.
Mine is Billy Mott in the last, so we'll see how that works out at 12-1 Milieu. So very interesting horses. I got to go back and look at that 8 horse of yours. Now we want to, of course, go back and watch Atone winning the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup there. Boy, he was good.
He was, and I don't think anybody ever saw him winning from off the pace. I mean, this was probably going to be the speed, and he just showed so much more versatility and just so game. A perfectly timed ride by Irad Ortiz.
Yeah, and I was talking to Mike Welch of the Daily Racing Form this morning, and he picked this horse. He made it his best bet or whatever, and he thought the horse was going to be on the lead the whole time because I couldn't believe it came from off this. So you don't know, as long as you get the win, sometimes you
doesn't matter how they get there, right?
And of course, the champ of yesterday, after it all, was Art Collector, and what a great ride by Junior Alvarado.
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, this horse just kept on going, and nobody ran with him. It was really incredible to see for the connections. We got to talk to Bilmont and Junior last week, and
Right.
just so awesome for the team there.
Yeah, just a beautiful performance, and just a masterpiece. Everybody wrote that was the headline in all the papers today.
Yep.
A masterpiece, and congratulations to all the connections. It was great. That's how we see what's going on here early on. But whoa, we're not done. We got Pete Aiello will be coming up with scratches and changes, and of course Brian and Angela will be joining us today, and it should be a lot of fun on this really beautiful Sunday afternoon. Well, it's still morning, but it will be afternoon when you see this lovely lady again.
We're ready for the start. They're off.